We're back. And I know I'm a little bit late with this recap. Like, yeah, so many things have popped up on TV in my life, trying to juggle it all, but I'm here now. And let's get into this episode of Reasonable Doubt. Now, we're on episode 5. Now, it kind of, I see what y'all doing. Like, it kind of goes a little bit in the beginning, a little slow. And then once you get to the second part of the episode, that is when it really starts to pick up. Now it's 5 months later. We are finally getting into Ozzie's trial. Things are picking up. We're starting to figure out who Alex is, some other people. But before I start, make sure y'all tap in, y'all hit that subscribe, do all the do's to support this channel. Now we're getting some scenes of Monica. Last episode, it was revealed that Monica is the one who was engaged in a lot of inappropriate behavior. Words I cannot say on YouTube, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay. She's the one who started the abuse as a child. And we didn't talk much deeply about women being abusers. We often focus on men. And I think it's great to see how it can be anybody. Stereotypically, it's a man, but this show is highlighting how women are abusers also. And Monica is interesting because I feel like she thinks that she saved him. She has this toxic, manipulative, dark belief that she saved him from everybody else. I'm protecting him. No, you're not. You stole his innocence. You're continuing to steal his innocence and keep him up under your breast, okay, and become that surrogate mother. There's a lot of mother dynamics here I'm noticing between Jax, Ozzie's actual mother, who we don't often see, and Monica. All these different women are mothers trying to, I think, not Monica's the mother, okay? But they play the role to me of mothers who are trying to navigate different things and how each of them, either in a healthy way, not so healthy way, are trying to just like be seen. And I think Monica's an example of someone trying to be seen by hurting somebody else. It's only for self. But in her mind, for some reason, her craziness, she thinks that she has saved him. All right. But she keeps him up under her and enables him. Ozzie to me is a character who is surrounded by enablers. People who believe that they're doing the best for him, but they're really not. They're doing the best for self. And oftentimes I think family relationships are very performative. Your family members think they're doing the best for you while you're hurting, while they're taking advantage of you. And we see how Ozzie throughout his life has been taken advantage of. And I think there's a lot of arrested development with him cognitively still being a child, not being, mentally connected to the physical aspects of being a man. Everyone around him has used him. Okay. And we see how the trial is beginning, and Ozzie does not want to lean into the narrative of his sexual abuse. I still think there's a lot of stigma. Um, and he sees himself as exposing himself to the world, being naked and vulnerable. And that is a struggle that men have with being vulnerable within themselves, within their household, within their relationship. So imagine that being used to help you get off of this crime. Okay. He doesn't want to lean on that. And the trial continues. Looking at my notes here. And how I also want to talk about how both Kristen, his sister, and Melissa both enable him with substance abuse. Now we're gonna get into Kristen because we're gonna get into her in a second. But I want to talk about how both these women have enabled him with substances to keep him, I think, numb, to keep him cognitively down so he doesn't have the ability to fight back and realize and heal from that the women around him are all taking advantage of him. And because he is so intoxicated all the time by these handlers and people who say that they are supporting him, he's trapped in darkness. Like a lot of people are trapped in darkness. Now, I do want to get to Kristen. Because you know what? Kristen to me is giving I did it. I used to think it was the mama. I think sometimes I think that is Melissa, but it was a woman. The killing itself is given to me that it was a woman. And my mind is starting to go down this road of I'll do my prediction a little bit later at the end. Okay, what I think happened. But we see Kristen, who is manipulative, who is his sister and also his assistant, who's also his enabler. Okay. And Kristen has a lot of secrets. She holds the secrets of the family. She holds the secrets of her being manipulative and a snake. She's a snake. And we see her use her body to manipulate. We see her use her body to distract Jax's assistant. Oh, you know how I'm gonna distract him? I'm gonna give it up. I'm gonna give this Asian man, I'm gonna give it up to him to distract him. And I think at times her assistant sees that there's still stuff there, but the body and the attention is distracting him from doing his job at times. And he lets y'all know, I can get this thing cracking. I know what I'm doing with my mouth and my hands. I know what I'm doing. And he showed us. He knew what he was doing. But I think that Kristen is manipulative. Okay. She plays a role just as much as Melissa in abusing Ozzie. And I'm not sure if people want to hear that, but I think Kristen is abusive also. Maybe not exactly the same thing as Melissa is doing, but she's also an abuser. And so I see Ozzie over and over again, just trapped in this cycle of abuse by the women around him. All right. And we're also finally introduced to, or we start seeing things about as they're walking into court, that her phone ringing, Kristen's phone saying, fuck no, don't answer. And it's like, who is that? Who is this person? Okay. Even her assistant, Jackson's assistant's like, who is this person? Okay. And we find out Alex is a longtime friend who's blackmailing them, blackmailing the family, really blackmailing Kristen. He wants more money or he gonna expose the secrets. At this point, to me, this episode starts to feel very cliche. Very cliche. You have this guy who's trying to fight this murder case. He's a childhood star, and of course, you have someone blackmailing the family who knows the secrets. Okay, it felt kind of like a soap opera, but very cookie cutter, very cliche. And I was like, ugh, what are y'all doing to my show? Why is it becoming this cliche thing? But Alex comes in and he wants more money. He ran through the $10,000 that Kristen initially gave him. He really ain't trying to help this family. He really ain't trying to help Ozzie get out of this case because he knows and can give information that can help him. At this point, he ain't trying to help. He want more money. And when Kristen's like, I ain't giving you no more money. Oh, I'm gonna call the prosecution. Okay, y'all think I'm playing? I'm gonna work for the other side. And so we see Alex go to the prosecution. He's on the stand. And Jax ate him up. You were a drug dealer? She ate him up. So much so that we get the scene of the prosecutor throwing everything in his office because it backfired. He was so in a rush to put Alex on the stage, on the stand. He did not properly prepare him, investigate, and do his due diligence. He thought, okay, this is going to be my key witness to get this guy and really put in the jury's eyes that Ozzie killed Wendy. See how you rush? When you rush and your witnesses ain't shit, okay? Your witnesses are about themselves, okay? His get back did not work. Okay, Alex needs to go somewhere because I feel like his character was just like, I thought Cordell was gonna play Alex. Okay, I still don't. What is Cordell gonna do? Where he at? We got what, probably 3 more episodes, and I still have not seen Cordell. I still have we seen Lori Harvey? I just Alex, you ain't worth shit. Okay, you say you a friend, but really you just a scab. Okay, that's been stuck on the family. Every now and then, Ozzie picks at the scab. Okay, but you ain't worth nothing. You're not worth nothing. You just want to get paid. And oftentimes these celebrities have these scabs, okay, that are lingering because of history, because I've known you for so long before, because you knew me before I got paid and made it big, but you just here because you want a piece of me, just like everybody else is using me. He is another person who is using Ozzie. Okay, just another person. All right. And so we see it blows up in their face. And so after the court is over, we see Jax confront Melissa, saying she know what she did. What? You know what I did? And at first, Melissa is shocked, but then she goes into victimhood. Okay, goes into her savior. Well, I'm trying to save him, and Jax, you ain't no better than me. Okay, you ain't no better than me. But Melissa is all about protecting her assets. Just like everybody else around Ozzie is about protecting the asset that is Ozzie. Nobody has invested in him as a person. The only person that we see, who has the potential to be invested in him is Ozzie. I mean, is Jax. Jax to me is somebody from the outside who is really, I think, getting to know him as a person. Melissa tries to say that it's just about her billing hours and making money off him, like everybody else trying to make money off him. But I feel like out of all the women around Ozzie, Jax is the most like, no, I'm not. I'm really like trying to get to know him and help him. Like she didn't have to go be in that parking lot talking to Melissa if she wasn't investing in him as a person and wanted the best for him. That's when we saw that mama bear come out. Okay. The mama bear we should be seeing in actually Ozzie's mother, but once again, we're not seeing her. And I need for y'all to stop filling us with these extra actors and stick to the storyline. I feel like there was so many different like things going on in this episode that it took away from the premise of it being about Ozzie and the case. My critique has always been it's too much other stuff. It's too much other stuff. If y'all would focus more on the case and the crime, more people would be watching this show. Okay. But there's so many relationship dynamics that it's distracting. And at times I'm just like, okay, we doing the cliche thing where we started up here with the first two episodes and we have hit this plateau. And I'm just wondering, can we recover from the plateau? Can we recover from it? But I just feel like it's just too much bullshit throughout the episode. Okay? Stick to the case. I don't care about Lewis. He over here putting trying to investigate Sam. Is his name Sam? No, Sam is the see that's how you know it's too much stuff going on. He up here trying to enlist the Jack's assistant to investigate his father-in-law. He needs something to do. Okay. The storyline with the baby mama was good. Okay. But now it just feels like his character has nothing to do. Y'all try to do the stuff at work. He's a busybody. Okay, he's a busybody. And he's gonna be the downfall of Jax. But watching him trying to do his investigation, watching him try and get his lick back by now putting the GPS on his father-in-law car, following him. Aren't you supposed to be at work? Handling your situation with old boy at work, keeping your job. You're a busybody. Okay. You got too much time on your hands. Go spend some time with your daughter, repair that relationship. But no, you out here in the streets doing too much. You stay in the streets too much, Lewis. Take your ass to work. Start helping with these bills. Start helping with this mortgage. Okay. So I'm not going to be surprised in a couple episodes when you lose your job. I'm really not. Because it's coming because you're in the streets too much. Probably while your ass on the clock. Okay. We see him following his father-in-law to these houses. And he's like, oh, he must be using again. I'm for sure he using again. I know for sure. When me coming from a background of working in substance abuse, I'm getting the feeling that he's in those houses. The father-in-law is in those houses probably to help somebody else recover. Okay, probably to try and help somebody else with their addiction is what it's probably gonna really be. And Lewis once again gonna look like the fucking dummy because he got too much time. Okay, you got too much time. And I'm not sure if I blame the writers for not making his character do something else, but maybe it goes into the fact that he just is a self-saboteur. He sabotages. Okay, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what they're trying to give is that he's a saboteur. And he creates these ideas in his mind and he just runs with them. But I feel like he has too much time on his hands and needs to take his ass to work. Okay? Take your ass to work. Go work on your relationship with your daughter. Okay? Do something than be in the streets following your father-in-law. You ain't got nothing else to do. You can't put something on the mortgage. Okay, you get on my nerves. Okay. Now we also see Jax's parental dynamic between her mother with her father. We see her attempt to confront her mother in the park, and we hear the rhetoric. What does she say? I'm still your mama. Okay. And eventually you're gonna wake up and I'm not gonna be the punching bag for your grown ass problems. The parents know how to read their kids down. Okay, well, Lou is not his son, but the reads from the parents these last episodes, I'm like, oh, y'all doing a good job, writers. On these two, the reads was good. She said, eventually, I'm not gonna be the punching bag for your grown ass problems. Jack is like, oh, damn, mama, okay, okay. Jack thinks that she can have control at every aspect of her life and over everybody. You can't have control over your mama. Okay. Your mama doing her own thing. And if she in the bed pillow talking with your daddy, that's her business. Okay. Mind the business that pays you. The business that is Ozzie. Okay. Once again, you doing too much. Focus on your case. Focus on making your relationship work with your child. But you're not. Okay. Your octopus, you got your one arm in the case, another arm with Lewis, another arm with your daddy, another arm over here. You're just floating in the water with no sense of real focus. Okay. And then we also see her going visit her father. And this is where, once again, the grace comes in for the men in her life, but not the women. No grace for your mama, but the grace for the men. And so she decides to, after speaking with her mother, I believe it was after, going to the hotel, motel, Snooty Fox, and hear her father out and hear his story. This is where I think she's starting to be able to look outside of herself, hear her father out, hear what's going on. Okay. And I hope that, do I want to see her give him more grace? I'm not sure. I just don't feel like she has the energy to really pour into that relationship. And I don't want to see her open up something else, another can of worms that she really don't have the time for. Okay. And is Daddy on the straight and narrow? Is he trying to do better? Or is he dibbling dabbling in the streets? Okay. But she tends to give grace more to the men. Lewis, her father, Ozzie, who is her client. What about her daughter? What about her mother? Where's the grace in those relationships? Okay. And as adult children, how much grace do we give our parents for the wrongs that they did? And do we sometimes give grace that's not worked for, that's not earned, and then it blows up in our face? Will this be another thing that blows up in her face when it comes to giving men grace? How much grace as women do we give the men in our lives? Do we give too much? Okay, do we give too much? Now we start to get to, I believe, the end. Um, oh, I want to touch a little bit about Sally and Alex. We see the girlfriends once again go to meet up, have their little scene. Jax apologizes to Sally. They hug it out. And the conversation is like, does he really want to be with you, or is he just keeping you around for the sake of the history to me? The love is there at times, but he lost everything. That first house, that generational wealth, she chose to give up their dream to protect, I believe the girl is her cousin, to protect her cousin. And he cannot get over that, but she's still sleeping with her. I think there's just layers to a marriage ending when you have kids, and there's just so many feelings there. Should he have just cut it off from the beginning? I think he wasn't quite sure. And I think we finally start to see he is really sure. He's just scared. I think he's a man who is scared to probably raise children in two separate homes. He worked really hard to, I think, give his kids something different. And in some ways, maybe here he is the same cycle that he saw growing up. Okay. And because of her cousin going over to his house, his little condo, because they lost the big house, they lost it when she decided to run away. And actually the audacity for you to go over to that man's apartment after they lost the house because you decide to go on the run. Now that I think about it. You see the cousin go over there and say, hey, let my cousin go if you really don't want to be with her. Stop wasting her time. And they have a little conversation, and I'm just like, you got a lot of nerve. They lost the house because you decided to go on the run. They put that house up for bail money and you left. But now you saying he need to tell your cousin, do he want to stay with her or divorce her and stop wasting her time? You wasted their time, girl. You wasted their time. And so I think in this moment, he's like, I'm conflicted. What do I do? And then we see him and Sally in the bed again. This is what's keeping them together, the physical connection, but I think the mental connection is gone. I often say that women check out emotionally sooner and men check out physically later. And I think there's some of this dynamic happening here a little bit. Even though I think Sally was really attached, but something in that conversation with Jax at the dinner table finally made her really kind of realize, I'm done. I'm done with the marriage. We've been creeping, but other than us creeping, it's not really going nowhere. And so she let him hit it one more time. One more time. And once she get up out that bed, here go the papers for the divorce. We're done. And in that moment, to me, it kind of felt like, divorce? You want to divorce me? What is this? I got one up on you. Okay, you thought you was gonna be able to string me along, figure out your decision. I'm not waiting for you. I'm already done. I've already checked out, is what happened here. Okay. And so she served him them papers as she put on her shirt to get up out of here. Because I'm taking back my power. I don't need this. It's not working for me. All right. And so we see it's done. She pulled a man move. Okay. Most of the time, these men's be like, oh, I'm going to hit it one more time. And then text her or don't text her. I'm going to just ghost. But I'm going to hit it one more time. She played him and it was good. Okay. And then I think we start to get to the end where we see flashbacks. We see Melissa in the backyard burning some clothes that have blood on them. And she's on the phone with Ozzie, and Ozzie's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm protecting you. And scene. It goes off. I need some of the energy y'all put at the end at the beginning. Because I see y'all losing folks. And we won a 4th season, but y'all losing folks. Now, here is what I think happened. I used to think it was the parents. I think that that night, Ozzy was so high that for some reason he was driven to the cabin. Okay. And I think he was driven to the cabin by somebody, and that somebody either made him shoot her or he was just there. Okay. I guess that's my prediction is that he was driven to the cabin because he's starting to have flashbacks, but he wasn't really cognitively present of what was going on. So he doesn't remember. See, what they need to do is some EMDR therapy to help him remember. Um, but it was definitely a woman. Okay, I'm not sure if the woman was Melissa. I'm not sure if the woman was Kristen, but at this point, I'm thinking it was one of them. And Alex maybe helped get rid of some evidence. He did something. Okay. Shit, he might have been the one who drove to the cabin later and helped, who drove Ozzy out there. But the women needed Wendy to be gone. Okay, so it was a woman. I just don't know which one, if it was Melissa or if it was Kristen. All right. But these are just my thoughts on this episode. I think that y'all losing some folks because there's too much going on. It's too much storyline. Okay. Stick to the core and then build off maybe one or two things per episode. But it was just too much. Too much. Okay. No mas, no mas, no mas. Okay. But let me know your thoughts on this episode. What do you think? Who do you think killed Wendy? How many more episodes we got? Is it two more? Or is it three more? All right. But let me know your thoughts on this episode. Hit that like, hype this video up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Have a good weekend. Do something with your life. Go touch some grass.